What up, y'all? It's KP, the sports chick. So, the NBA season started last night. First game of the night was the Cavs and the Knicks. You know, a lot of people say that the Knicks sucked last night, but really it was just that the Cavaliers were dominant. I mean, there was no way that they were losing that game last night. I mean, think about the energy in that arena, think about the energy in that town. Think about the fact that the World Series is going on like 2 blocks away from the game. Both games are at home. They're getting their rings that night. They're playing in the World Series. Like, there's no way. I'm exploding if I'm a Cleveland fan last night. So with that said, yeah, they said the Knicks sucked. A lot of the media is saying that the Knicks are terrible or they played awful. And I honestly think it's not that they played super awful. I just think that Cleveland just dominated, like I said. Everybody showed up, even Kevin Love last night. The three of them, Kyrie, LeBron, and Caleb, they scored 71 points of 117, which equates to 62% of the shooting. And then also combined, they grabbed 25 rebounds and 20 assists. 5 steals, 1 block, and 6 turnovers between the three of them. So they all showed up. I mean, minus those 6 turnovers, that's a pretty good game. LeBron had a triple-double, 19, 11, and 14. Kyrie had 19, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals. And Caleb had 23 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, and 2 turnovers. So, is this indicative of what the season's going to be like for Cleveland? I don't know. LeBron has this thing about going into a slump. I think that last season during the finals, that was, you know, there was a point where we weren't sure that they were going to lose. I mean, if they were going to win, because they were 1 game away from losing it all. And so I think around that time when they were losing, I think it was LeBron trying to teach tough love on how to win without relying on him. But then he just kind of stepped up after Game 5 or during Game 5 along with Kyrie. But I digress. But my point is that they're not the favorites to win this year. Golden State is, and I'm pretty sure you all watched that game, or at least parts of that game too. After you turned out, most of y'all probably turned it off after the third quarter when the Spurs were just dominating Golden State. But you saw how they played. It wasn't well. I mean, KD did good. Everybody else was there, but they weren't there. You know what I mean? Nobody really showed up. Got Steve Kerr on the bench shaking his head. It's not a good night for Golden State. So, they got them to win it this year. And, yeah, we're only 1 game in, but by leaps and bounds, a way different start to the season. A way different energy than it was at the start of last season. Last season, Golden State just came off a win. They won the nationals. They won the finals. They won the finals. So they were on, like Cleveland this year, a year ago. And so, they got their first win. Then they proceeded to win, I don't know, it was 24 in a row. I think it was 24. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. 24 in a row. And ended up winning, 74 games. Or 73 games. Gosh, I'm off with the stats tonight. Anyway, they had the winningest record in regular season history is what it all boils down to. And this season, they start off with a loss. They weren't as cohesive as they could have been. I feel like, and you heard it here first, that, and I've said this in a video before, but I feel like at some point, Clay's going to get annoyed with the situation as far as options, where he lies in them, because KD took a lot of shots last night, and he made a lot of them. So I don't doubt him being a second option or a first option, or a first option when it comes down to the buzzer beaters. He's very reliable with that. So I can definitely see Clay getting annoyed. There's a whole couple of stories now out about Draymond Green and how things went last season. especially in concentrating on the finals and everything that happened in the summer this year, in the off season with his little incidents. But mainly, it's about Draymond, the chemistry with the team, his temper, so on and so forth. So it's just, it's like I said, by leaps and bounds, the difference, what a year difference makes. Because, like I said, it's one game, but I know how you start is a big deal in the league. It's just like being in a slump during a game and then somebody getting that dunk. It builds momentum, and I feel like winning the first game sets a great tone to start the season. And I'll be perfectly honest with you. I still, I'm not a Spurs fan, but I definitely think that they're a contender this year, and that remains to be seen. But even with Tim Duncan missing, what I saw last night, even after a game, was cohesive, great coaching, even points being scored, great mentorship, as well as young talent on the court. It's just all around good. And you know what? The Spurs do not mind being, not discussed, because that's how it goes every year. And then they show up in the Western Conference Finals or something like that, and win championships every 4 years, every 3 years, or something like that. Now with Tim Duncan out, that's the new challenge, and they were actually fun to watch last night. And I did another post about that. But what do we think Cleveland's going to go this year? I don't see Cleveland winning another championship back to back. I don't. That's just my opinion. But I think the Spurs have a chance every year to win it. I think the West is going to win this year. LeBron wanted it so bad last year because Cleveland hasn't had a championship in who knows how long, and never a Cavaliers championship. We do know how long, but I don't remember the number off the top of my head. So, all that said, how do you think Cleveland's going to do this year? Because, like I said, they're obviously going to go deep, but it's just a matter of if they're going to win the finals or not, or the Eastern Conference Finals. It just depends on how well New York comes together. If you want to talk about Toronto, I'm not really concerned with them. The Bulls, how they do this year with Dwayne Wade, I'm ready to see that first game. And it really just depends on how the chess pieces that were moved this offseason play out. And we'll really, really get a sense of it after Christmas, going into All-Star break, what the playoff situation might be. But, Cleveland's off to a good start, one game in. The Knicks have a lot of work to do. They have to build cohesiveness. They have to build a chemistry. You have to remember Derrick Rose wasn't even there because he went to that whack trial that wasted everybody's time, and now he's back. So it's like, he's getting into the mix and all that too. So let me know what you think. Leave comments here, KP Sports Chick at YouTube, or you can hit me up on KP the Sports Chick as well.